So the word negotiation comes from the Latin word negotium. What does negotium mean? Well, let's break it down. Neg means no, and otium means leisure or fun. So at one time in history, negotiation meant no fun. What makes a negotiation no fun? It's one word, probably the most important word in negotiation. People who understand how this word impacts negotiation are skilled negotiators. This one word. What do you think this word is? What's the one thing that makes negotiation no fun? No. What's that? A compromise. Let's try this word on. Pressure. What makes a negotiation no fun is that both sides have pressure to achieve some sort of goal or objective. Pressure is never fun. We don't like pressure. So in every negotiation you're ever going to be involved in, there's always going to be pressure on the other party. Always. Buyers are always going to have pressure to buy. If they didn't have pressure, guess what? They wouldn't be talking to you. They wouldn't be emailing you. They wouldn't be on the phone with you. There would be no reason for them to be even in your life. The only reason why they're in your life is because they have pressure to be in your life in some way. And if buyers have pressure to buy, sellers have what? Pressure to sell. You all know your pressure is to sell. So in every negotiation you're ever going to be involved in, there's always going to be pressure on the other party. But here's the thing. Whose pressures are we almost exclusively focused on? Our own. Average negotiators go into negotiations fixated on their own pressures, worried about everything that can go wrong. All the things, they're self-absorbed. They're focusing on all their own problems. They're approaching their negotiations from a place of fear. And fear is negotiations' kryptonite. What skilled negotiators do is, yes, they're still human beings. They still get self-absorbed sometimes and focus on their pressures at times. But what they're able to do is they're able to do this. They're able to ask themselves the golden question, which is, hey, I know there are pressures on me. I understand that. But my job is not to focus in on my pressures. My job is to focus in on the pressures of the other party, try to extract and identify and figure out what pressures they're under. Because if I can identify their pressures, then I get leverage in this negotiation and I do better. That's what skilled negotiators do. I had, at 30, I had a mentor come into my life, and he taught me something very important. I had a string of bad romantic relationships. I kept on choosing the wrong romantic partner for myself. And this mentor came into my life and says, listen, you're doing something wrong. He says, from here on in, on your first dates, I actually want you to start listening to them. Instead of spending the first 5 minutes worrying about your cologne and your outfit and how suave you look, start listening to what they say, because people will tell you everything about themselves in the first 5 minutes. They will show you who they are in the first 5 minutes. And I want you to start looking for red flags. And after 5 minutes, if there's more red flags than green flags, you get the hell out of that date. And from that point on, my listening changed when I was dating. And I started spotting red flags, can you believe it? And my picker became a lot better. So I learned a very valuable lesson that day, which is when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I want you to change the way you look at negotiation. It's not about you, it's about identifying the pressure on the other side. And now that you've had that perspective shift, I promise you, you're going to go in and your listening is going to change. You're going to start hearing their pressures, because people love leaking pressure. But you got to be able to listen for it to hear it.